Performance charts within the vSphere client can give us a tremendous amount of information coming from a couple of different perspectives, from the ESXi hosts and all of the resources that ESXi is in control of, from virtual machines, and from other things like your clusters and your data stores and your networks. So performance charts within vCenter are an excellent tool. When you click on any inventory object, you're going to see a monitor tab. In this case, I've clicked on an ESXi host, and I go to the monitor tab, and you'll notice here that there are two different types of performance charts. There are overview charts, and there are advanced charts. The overview charts give us some of the most common metrics that I might be interested in. Metrics like CPU on this particular ESXi host, memory utilization, the rate of memory in and out, the disk and the latency on the disk. Those sorts of metrics are really common for us to look at. So the overview charts are a really good way to start. Now, if those overview charts don't give us the exact information that we need, or we want some more information and more in-depth information, we can switch to the advanced performance charts. And the advanced performance charts give us the ability to customize these charts. So what you'll see if you click on advanced performance charts is a button that says chart options. And when I hit that button, I get to do lots of different things and build my own performance charts. So the next several slides will cover these different areas to sort of give you a definition of what are chart metrics, what are counters, what are roll-ups, etc., so that we can understand how to build our own advanced performance charts. Let's start with chart options. Okay? When we look at chart options, one of the things that we have are the time interval. I'm going to go back a slide. Where do we see this? We see this here under time span. Okay? Under time span, we have real-time and historical chart options. vCenter is going to collect performance metrics on lots of different things. On what? Let me show you on the previous slide again. On CPU, on all of these different chart metrics, and all of these counters within each of the chart metric. So vCenter is collecting this data every 20 seconds. We're going to come back to this particular slide so that you can see it quite often. In terms of the time span, like I said, every 20 seconds, vCenter gets performance metrics. That gives us 20 samples an hour, and vCenter will keep 1 hour's worth of data in its database. That's 180 samples. Now, if it tried to do that in perpetuity, 180 samples an hour, then vCenter's database would be nothing but performance charts, and it would be massive. So we don't do that. We only keep 1 hour's worth of real-time data. But we'll then take that real-time data and transform it. How we transform it will depend on the type of chart, or the type of metric and type of counter, okay, into what we say are one-day samples. And for a one-day sample, we'll take those 180 samples collected 20 seconds an hour, and we'll give you 5-minute increments. 20 seconds times 3 samples a minute times 5 minutes, that's 15 samples. 15 samples times 24 hours gives us 288 samples a day. And we'll continue to do that, and we'll give you past week samples that are collected every 30 minutes, past month samples that are collected every 2 hours, and past year samples that are collected every day, for a total of 365 samples, 365 one-day samples per year. And that is what we will keep in vCenter's database. The next thing that we can choose as we're building our own performance charts are the types of charts. Now, we have a number of different types of charts. We have line charts and bar charts and pie charts, and for example. Now, line charts and pie charts are only relative to specific types of metrics. If you click on a data center, you can get data center utilization by file type. Like, it looks at all the data stores across the data center and gives you a nice bar chart for the different types of data that we have. If you want to see a pie chart, you'll see pie charts looking at data store capacity. So here we have data store utilization and the types of files that are in each of the data stores. Now, more commonly, what you're going to see is a line chart. And a line chart, we can give you a separate line for each metric for each object in the inventory. In this example, we are giving you a line chart of CPU utilization and have one line for every physical core on the ESXi host. Okay, so this is a line chart. You'll notice here that that's an ESXi host right there. I've gone to monitor, I've gone to advanced. Okay, I clicked on chart options. I said, I want a line chart. I want to look at CPU metrics, and I want you to show me every single core individually. Okay? That's a lot of data that we see kind of all smudged into this thing right here. But you'll notice that in the performance legend down here, we can see the values, latest, maximum, minimum, average, and so on. We can see that the measurement is CPU usage, and the roll-up is based on an average. And in this case, the average is done with a real time. So each of these counters is going to give me the average of the last 20 seconds. See where we're getting with all of this? It's really nice information. This is a stacked chart, okay? And in this case, I'm stacking up the total utilization or total usage of each core. That way, I can see the total utilization of all of the CPU on the same ESXi host. From my perspective, at least looking at a host for CPU usage, this is more valuable to me because I can see right here that I've got a nice little spike of CPU usage here. Okay? Very interesting. I also have, when I'm looking at individual virtual machines, I can get a stacked chart per VM. So in this case, I'm looking at my ESXi host. The objects that I'm looking at are the individual VMs, and I've got a nice stacked chart. So if you can see here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Where's my zoom? Let's zoom in right here. You'll notice that I have a Plex media server that is actually consuming more resources. Look at that. I've got a very heavy utilization on my Plex media server in my home lab. Okay, so by looking at this, not only can I tell what my total utilization is, in this case it's measured in megahertz, okay, the average utilization in megahertz, but I can see who the biggest offender is, or at least which applications are utilizing more CPU than others.